亮亮自己呢
Who lives in San Francisco?
They do.
Yeah.
亮亮自己现住哪儿
Right now it's in our old home in Lexington.
Oh, wow, that's
But her permanent home is in Connecticut.
亮亮自己现住哪儿
Right now it's in our old home in Lexington.
哦，
这里好熟
Melody, leave that poor kid alone.
baby 多大了 ？baby 多大了
2 months. 2 months.
？2 months 啊，
Leave that poor kid alone.
好可爱哦。baby 多大了？baby 多大了？
2
2
months.
个月，2个月。
Yeah, 90.
他头发太细了。
高兴谭彩轩怎么不来呢？
2个月，2个月。
他在原本下站了。
哦，我等一下就要离开了，我这边还有一个事儿。
经
对啊，我等一下就离开了。所以啊，我就是来看看你们，我再过几分钟我就要那个 leave。
Okay, understand. Got it. 警察先说他过去风车，他就
我这简直听不清楚。I don't know why。在电话里，
你好，
哎，丁先生，你好，好久不见。
好久不见。
呀，就是。
Larry and Sophia，
哇，
我是用我外孙的电脑，所以是 Baden Russell。我是 Helen。
Yeah, Bacon Russell。
I turn on my hearing aid.
赵慧丽啊，
赵慧丽。
哎，赵慧丽。
没有声音。
Hi Robert 王。
没有开啊？
哎，看到名字是我外孙的名字。
没看到他的丈夫。
Somebody asked me a question.
Yes, I know.
Adam Russell. Yeah.
Baden Russell.
Baby Russell, I heard about that.
请大家等一下打开视频，我们可以照一张相啊。
OK。
大家打开视频，我们可以照张相。
对，等他的机会讲这些。他既然起早了，能赶上。
大家现在我们 YouTube 了啊，假如你看今天会很快就看嘛，假如有朋友打电话来 ，please let them know you are I put a YouTube link on the chat so you can find the link and send to your friends.
Taya, will you tell us when we should start, okay? And
还有10分钟。还有10分钟。
比放飞弹还准时。
I just want to get YouTube ready now instead of last moment.
Yes.
Melody 就很亮。
YouTube.
We'll start at 2 o'clock sharp.
我们是黑黑的，
But good enough. 不糊涂。
不是糊涂，就是黑。
胡小飞，这是你的外孙女是吧
Now or 2 others.
No, great granddaughter.
Great granddaughter.
Yeah, 4 generations.
Oh my gosh. I don't have it yet. I only have
Yeah, we have blessed.
3 generations.
你好，太婆，太公。
So你 make it out. Stay 是他是你的亮亮的前身，不是？
Yeah, 亮亮的 granddaughter.
亮亮的 granddaughter.
So our great granddaughter.
Great granddaughter. Whoa. The brand new one, huh?
Very blessed. We're very blessed.
Is this a 亮亮的baby?
还没搞清楚。
星星的 baby 还是亮亮的 baby？
他这还没搞清楚是咋搞的。你还讲得很清楚，官官。公话真老真。
I'm Christine's daughter, and then this is my husband.
Yeah, her name is Melody.
But I'm not the important one. She's the important one.
My hearing aid didn't help today. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
well, to your point, isn't the price as good as it can get? That's going to fight all good. And Alpha last bunch of funds and other competitors have been able to raise prices. Prices started to flatline, and then they for like 14 times the cost of $70,000 a ton. What you're seeing is that the prices rise again as there's no lithium inventory really in the world right now. Yes, supply is going to come up. There's lots of projects coming up, but we don't see supply demand really changing until late 23 or 24. So right now, a lot of the products that come online and add inventory into the system.
现在谁在讲话？
And numbers of people have.
There you go.
在讲话。
Well, I love the fact we're just talking about fertilizer. Some people say I
哎，
still
是不是后面有TV 还是什么，请关掉啊。
It's Brian.
commercial 搞不起，那 5G 才行，3G 不行了，关掉了，小老板。
52个人说话。哦。
我们等会要照一张相，那请大家把那个视频开，好吧？
There's another way to
开开，
是，我知道。
开开了吗？
我说 Bernice is not on。
把什么开开？
就是 video 你已经开了。
呀，我47个人当中有 Bernice。
有一个人在那主持那个，
我说的
technician，
中文他听以为，如果
陈一山
Oh, by the way, for non-Chinese speaking audience, we're going to talk in English when we give the talk. So don't worry, this is just social hour. People are speaking Chinese. Don't worry, we're not giving the talk in Chinese.
Okay. So we'll have a Chinese and English, right?
No, we're going to give the talk in English because there are audiences who do not speak Chinese. Right now it's a social hour, so it's okay. We're talking.
Oh.
Thank you. I don't know how to speak Chinese yet. I'm only 2 months old. I can only speak English right now. I'm learning Chinese next month. Thank you.
孙女婿，
Yeah，
还没让他开
以
始
baby 的口气讲。
就是聊天了。
我们还有是吧？还有5分钟。
我可以看到你的。
那我们先照一张那个团体照啊，请大家尽量把你的视频打开好吗？陈一山、Julia， 请你们把视频打开，我们照一张团体照。那个，好，
你向我这边靠一点。
好，3、2、1，3。3、2、1，好，谢谢。
团体照一照。
好，谢谢。
不错。
那地方你那个关掉了吧？镜头关掉，镜头嘛。
Hi, Larry and Sophia.
Yes.
你们好，我是 Dora.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Dora.
嗨，你们好，好久不见。
Yes.
哎 ，Dora 好。
哎，
我是任旭江。
嘿，任旭江你好，我先要看看
任旭江的妩媚。
gallery。任旭江，你很少上来我们这边啊，这个做。
哎，第一次。
第一次。
因为有 Sophia、Larry 要演讲啊。
对呀，他们这个 subject 是很有意义的。
要听听他们讲话了，想念你们了。
到了10岁左右。
The next thing 希望你们搬来。
我们看不到吧？
看不到。
开始了没有？1:57分。哇，手表打扮的好漂亮，我哪里像80几岁？
我保养的好啊，丈夫保养的好。
还有分钟，4分钟，
厉害。
杨丽仪跟 David 我们也很久没见面了。
对呀，Dora 你好。
呀，你好。
他们看不到。
啊，可以看得到。你们摆了 Gallery View 的话，你还是可以看到每个人。OK。如果你现在看了Speaker View 的话，就看大的那个 Sophia 跟 Larry。如果你看了 Gallery View， 你还是可以看到每一个人。
Video or no video? Who's shooting?
我们看 Gallery， 看别人长什么样子。
要看别人就看 Gallery View。看Sophia， 看Sophia就看 Speaker View。
那么难听的课程。
韩美玲来了。
嗨，来了。
哦 ，Hi。Hi Kathy。
呀，吴宇。
Hi Dora。Hi 丽仪。
你为什么
你好，Larry。好。
Larry Sophia。Hi。
呀，冷丽丽，很久没见面。
你好 ，Everybody。欢迎欢迎。
王世成他们
Okay, it's being recorded.
啊，任须江。
哪里？还有2分钟啊。
好的 ，Fine, sure. Yeah, just tell us when to start and show the PowerPoint.
Okay. 原来是他人这边那边
看完这个以后就回去。
不要被紧张了，偷个耳机都是。
嗨。嗨。
我。
嗨，妹妹。
那个谭彩璇都出现了，你们看到谭彩璇？
Yes, David。
大家好。
任须江，西部来的朋友。
哎呀。
任须江你好，龙丽丽。
任须江啊，任须江是老了。
跟任须江打过招呼。
看王子仁都来了。
这个 baby。
好。贝贝。你好。
Everyone. Welcome to the.
Voicemail. 哦，这么难看的像。
还蛮紧张的，看起来。
等他讲的。
Welcome to this.
Voicemail or 2 others.
You can mute everyone if you want.
我没有关。
And make us co-host so we can talk.
有关。
不是这样。
要开始了。
哎，这个是 Larry 的曾孙。刚刚
这边大概有很多人这个 document 好像是写。
没关系，没有关系。
看不清楚就是。
那就不用。
just 没有，看看 full screen。哎。
Sorry that got interrupt. Welcome Larry Ho and Sophia Ho. Welcome everyone to come to this special, very special talk from both of them. I know everyone knows Larry Ho and Sophia Ho, and their academic and their social contributions are so outstanding that you all know, and I will not repeat it here. We know Larry gets so many fellows at so many countries, and dean and the professor at the Harvard University. And Sophia did a lot of community service and get its outstanding reward and many, many contributions and to the Chinese community. But more important is the local community as large. So what I want to say is we are very fortunate to know of both of them 40-some years ago when Sophia and I was at the team served for the GBCCA. We really had a great time, and then to have them as our mentors since then. And as we observe them, they are so get into the mainstream of the American society and the American lives. So when you see them as big names, but we see them as really close and a very close friend and mentors. They not only just that they are so handy that they build their own summer house. And they maintain that even today at their age, they're still going up there and they maintain that. And then they get to the mainstream of all social lives and the community service. And Sophia and us, and we actually together we established the GBCCA Community Center at the Western. And we get many, many people involved. And both of them get so many Chinese together with so many events that they're really our mentors. And we are very fortunate today. They are just moved from their 56-year house into a new life. And they so care for us. They want to share with us. And now here is Sophia and Larry.
You want us to start now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. First of all, we want to thank Tang Wu for arranging this talk so that we can give you some experience about what we went through in the last few years in deciding on moving from our home to this next stage of our life. It's something that every one of you will sooner or later face. So we thought we'd share our experience with you. We're giving this talk in English because there are audience among us who do not speak Chinese. So please excuse us for giving the talk as well as the slides in English. Well, first of all, beyond thanking Yao Wu for arranging this talk, you don't have to bother to take notes if you feel you want to have this experience that we talked about for record, because this talk is first of all being recorded. You can also get all the slides with notes for this talk, as well as several articles I've written concerning our experience in transitioning to this new state of life. So we can give that all to you at the end of the talk. Don't worry about taking notes or so forth.
Before I start to talk about our experience, I'd like to make it clear that we're not recommending the way how you should approach the next stage of your life. We just, because each family is different. The relationship you with your children is different with everyone. Some people may not like Boston because of the weather. You might want to move away. So the choices are yours, but we just want to tell you what we have gone through, and hope if you decide to stay around, you may learn something from us. Now, there are 3 possibilities for the next stage of your life. First is you can stay put in your own home. It is nice that you don't have to move. You don't have to get rid of anything, and you're familiar with your house. So it is an attractive way to do it. Or if you decide that you want to downsize and to move to be near your children or one of your children, then it's downsize and move to a retirement community.
Like we did.
Yeah, that's what we decided to do. We'll discuss the pros and cons of each alternative in detail based on our own experience.
Now, first, let me talk about reasons for downsizing. Well, sooner or later, we are getting too old to manage a home, even if you outsource all the tasks, because even if you hire all kinds of help, you hire them and pay them, and you have to get people to buy food, cook the meal, and clean the house. And finally, you still have to keep track of everything, such as landscaping, gardening, or in wintertime, remove stove, I think a place like that, and the routine maintenance of all the equipment of a modern household. So finally, there's a matter of cost. It may not be efficient for you to live in a large house with only 1 or 2 of you. So we'll talk more about that later.
Now, first, let's talk about stay put in your own home. Of course, you know your house, you know where things are, you feel comfortable. And, but it might get tough if you live alone. For those who are already living alone, you probably already felt it. And manage your home safety. When you're young, you didn't mind. But right now, you have stairs, and that's the most dangerous thing. When you're old, one must not fall. It could cost your life. And whether your bathroom is wheelchair accessible, and your rugs, the amount of work you have to do, especially when there's only one of you. Now, cost of your living. You alone live in a big house. You pay tax, you paint the house, remove the trees, blah, blah, blah. It costs a lot of money. Not to mention finding good help is very, very difficult, because when there are 2 of you, one hopefully is still healthy, you can manage to help her. You can tell her what to do, not what to do. But if you're alone, laid up in bed, how are you going to manage the help? If your help says, I'm going home for Christmas, then what? You may have children around, you're lucky, they can help you. But if you don't have any relatives around, it would be difficult.
Yeah, I'm basically one more thing about the stairs, which is really dangerous. During this move from our own home to this retirement home, I fell downstairs twice. Fortunately, no bones was broken, but still took a couple of months to heal. And I know people who actually fell downstairs in their own home, broke their shoulder blade as well as upper arm, and you can't even get dressed yourself. And worse, there are people who fell downstairs, got laid up. In old age, if you're in bed and not moving, all kinds of serious things can happen, even including death. So this is a serious thing that even if you stay put in your home, you have to worry about stairs. Maybe you should install double handrails or these mechanical chairs that move up and downstairs, because this is a really dangerous thing. Now, moving your children, which all our children have access to do as a possibility, there are certain considerations. If your children, like ours, are scattered in different parts of the country, you decide to move to one of them, to be near one of them, then he or she will start taking on most of the burden of looking after you. Is that fair to the person who bears the burden? Second, you may move close to your children, and he or she may start to move away because of job possibility. We know one good friend who moved all the way across country to be near their son. Well, 2 months later, the son got moved to Taiwan. And so this is something you need to be aware of. And children, of course, have their own lives. They cannot 24/7 look after you every minute. And there's also the problem of role reversal. When children are young, they listen to what you tell them to do. But now they're adults and they're taking care of you. You may have to listen to what they want you to do. And that's something requires adjustment. And if your children doesn't live near you, you move to be closer to them. You have to engage new doctors, lawyers, tax accountants, and other professional accountants, as well as new friends. This may all be difficult things for you to do at our age. So finally, our recommendation is possible, don't sell your home immediately. Try out your new home surroundings for a few months first. You may not like it, the new environment, and decide to move back. And we know people who have done this. And plan your move early and carefully. It's not a last minute task. It's very stressful, believe me. And lower your expectation if you move to be near your children. They, as I said, have their own lives, and they cannot be 24/7, be with you and look after you.
Oh. Yeah. What is retirement community? It is an organization and place devoted for senior care. They are trained and prepared to take care of oldies like us, while your children may not be. And it helps you to live a happier life because that's their specialty. They know how to take care of seniors. There are many such organizations, each with different offerings, settings, rules, and costs. So it's worthwhile for you to pick a few that you might consider and go and investigate in person for yourself. And I might add, if you have children near you, it is better to take one of the younger people. We are still okay, but the children are sharper. They can think of questions to ask. They can help you, explain to you what it means, because sometimes we're just a little bit slower.
Or forgetful. And besides, since the retirement community consists of many seniors, they try to do the best to accommodate as many people as possible. It's unlikely you will find a retirement community that fits exactly everything you like, everything you don't like, and don't have anything you don't like, and fits you perfectly. That's cannot be expected. So you have to take most of the good with a few of the bad things, which we will later on tell you. So
now, first, let's talk about moving to a retirement community. That is what we did. Taking care of your own future is a gift to your children. Our children are happy that we decided to move into a safe place.
Yeah, even though they all want us to move to be near them.
But they do agree with us. This was the good choice for us. the size of apartment. When we first thought about coming into a place, we thought we need a big place. We need at least 3 bedrooms because our own house we've been living in is 3 times as big as our present apartment. But in retrospect, when they offered us this apartment, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a living, dining, kitchen in 1 large room, we've discovered after 6 months, it's not small at all. The small place has advantages. When you misplace something, which will happen more and more to us, you can find it easier. You don't have to run up and down, go into the garage, trying to find your glasses or something. This coming, the transition from a house to an apartment is a big undertaking, especially for people like us. We lived in our house for 56 years. You can imagine the junk we piled up in the basement. One day we'll open the box and look at it. After 40 years, they're still there, unopened. So it is a good big chore, and you must start early and be prepared and close your eyes and throw the junk away. And preferably after we moved here, we both felt that we could have moved here a couple of years ago because we were younger, physically, mentally, we were stronger. And so it would have been easier, but it's not too late, fortunately. So think about while you're still young, and also think about while there's still 2 of you. I mean, losing a spouse is traumatic, but after losing a spouse and you have to undertake such a tremendous change, is even worse. So don't wait too long. And here, the advantage, of course, is all the neighbors are seniors. They're very sympathetic. Sometimes if you tell your kid or something says, I have headache and all that, they will say, Mom or Dad, so what? They're young, they're healthy. Here you find friends that is more like you.
But on the other hand, with only interact with other old people, you may find it depressing. So this is an individual matter you need to think about. Now, advantage of moving to a retirement home near your own old home.
We lived in Lexington for 56 years. So Lexington is our home. We never thought that we want to move away. It's just too settled. Our roots are so deep into Lexington, involved friends and everything, shops, the government, all that.
You don't have to learn new routes or new stores. And of course, you have all your old friends and all professional connections, doctors, lawyers, accountants. You don't have to change, as I mentioned earlier. And you are not dependent on your children to do things for you because the retirement home does all these for you, which I will talk later on. And you have the advantage, simplicity of retirement home. And they really can care for you 24/7, better than your children can. And finally, I will later on talk about cost consideration. You'll find in many cases, the cost is actually less than if you stay put or move to a new home.
Now, selling your old home and downsizing.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of immediate considerations. First of all, you cannot sell your home before buying into a new or retirement home. You have to pay a sum to buy into it first and move in, then worry about selling your home. Now, this particularly during a bad market period like right now, you may not want to sell your investments, and you cannot sell your home before you move in to your new home. but your new home you have to buy it first. So most banks will have this thing called a bridge loan. Basically, they lend you certain money for a few months and fairly low interest. So you can use the money to buy into a new retirement home and then take a few moments to sell your own home. This is called a bridge loan. It's done all the time and it's very low cost. So that's something you need to know. The other thing, sometimes you may be shocked by the cost of selling your old home, particularly like we lived in the home for 56 years. When we sell, there will be a huge tax bill to pay, capital gain, even with all the help the government can give you. So that's something you should be prepared for. Okay. And getting rid of your stuff is a big problem. I'll let Sophia talk about it.
Yes, it is a big problem. There are several ways. First, they have this estate sale agents. I found 2. And they will give you free consultation. They come to your house. You tag the things that you're not going to take with you. Most of your large sofa, dining tables, and futon coffee tables. You tag them. They come and take a picture of everything you want to sell. And they will put it online and start bidding, selling. Everything starts with $1. 1, 2, 3, 4, the bids up. They set a two weeks time limit. And however, they do ask that you must have a minimum of $10,000 worth of stuff, be it jewelry, be it your TV, anything. First of all, I interviewed 2. Both has this requirement, and we did not have enough stuff for them to sell. Of course, we have things. I paid $4,000 for my couch, but to them, what they can sell is not 4,000. You're lucky to get 400. So that the little money that adds up to 10,000, it takes a lot of stuff. So it didn't work with them. They're consignment companies. Again, you look online, ask people. Of course, again, you tag what you don't want. They come and they will look at it. They don't want everything you want to sell. They want things that they can sell, can make a profit. Oh, I forgot to mention, with the consignment, they take 50% commission. With the consignment company, it's the same. They take 50% of your stuff. They will take only what they think they can sell. Your massage chair, too old. They don't want it. And some consignment company ask you to take your things to them, which is a pain in the neck because the big things, it costs money. You have to hire people to bring it to them. But we found a company that would take the things that they want to sell.
But they're very picky. They only want to.
And then, of course, the third option is junk removal. That costs money. You can hire a dumpster, but you need strong people to carry your large disc and throw it in the dumpster, which kills you because they're perfectly good things to you, but the dumpster people will help you to remove them. It costs money. Donate to a charity, of course. You don't get the money back, but you get the tax benefit deduction. You can look around. Many people don't want to come to your home to get it. You have to look whatever you want to donate, which means if you don't have a truck, you have to
rent a truck.
Rent a truck or just do it slowly, piece by piece. By then, when you're ready to move, you couldn't be bothered. So what we thought was, actually, I learned from somebody 2 years ago. They moved away, and I saw the ad says, open house, say 10 to 12, coming Saturday. Moving away, come and take whatever you like. Everything's free. Thank you for helping us to get rid of our things. So it worked. Many people came and they took everything, literally everything from our house. And I thank them for getting rid of the things. They thank me for giving them such good things. And one lucky thing that happened to us is a lady said, oh, my mother's moving to Lexington and she needs a bed, a couch, a coffee table. Great. So they took everything from us, and thank God we got rid of everything.
In this connection, I might mention another example so you understand this process. In our old home, we have 2 massage chairs. These are big, bulky things because they have better maintenance. Both massage chairs cost over $1,300 to $1,500. They're perfectly working. Now, in our new apartment, which is only 1/3 size, we can at most take one. So we have to get rid of the other. Well, someone complained, didn't want them because they think it's too heavy to move and not easily sellable because not many people want to pay money to get this. So finally, we had to give that away. And a family in Lexington came happily, 4 strong friends together, moved that thing away. But that's the type of things you encounter. They're not as easy as the assignment. Advertisement lets you believe that you can just sign an agreement, they will get rid of everything for you. But not that easy. The easiest way is to give it away for free on your own mailing list. So we basically got rid of 2/3 of our stuff this way.
Now, how to find a retirement home? There are many retirement homes in your neighborhood, if not in your own town. So you best to Google and see what they offer. And then you go to take a look and talk to their sales department.
There are different levels of deposit or application fee you have to do. About hundreds of dollars. Our case is $750, which you never get back. Then there's down payment. Once they have available stock and you like that, you have to pay down payment in at least 5 figures, middle 5 figures. And finally, the day you move, and they have to renovate, get ready to the apartment. Finally, when they move in, you have to pay the full cost. And they have different levels of care.
The location of the place you're going to depends on how you feel. Somebody likes more rural setting, and we chose the one that is across the street from a shopping mall because sooner or later you won't be able to drive. So it is better for us to have shops, supermarket, liquor store, and restaurants, things like that nearby. And okay, each place is different. You find out the rules of how you can get in. For instance, sometimes they need a physical test from you. No, not sometimes. I think they all require a physical test by your doctor, signed a statement. And in certain places, they even require mental tests. How many fingers are there? If you say 3, you're not getting in there. Do look at the ratings. You can check ratings online. Maybe they have 3 stars, 4 stars, and depends what you like about that place.
And there are some operate as a profit, some operate as non-profit. Everything being equal, I think non-profit is better because in profit-making organization, there's a building conflict of interest. They want to make money for their shareholders, and you want them to offer you as much amenity and service as possible.
They check the meal plans. Some people offer you 1 meal a day, others 3 meals. Because they only offer you American food, we find that 3 meals is too much. If they offer you 1 dinner, and then you can have Chinese doing lao mian and everything for lunch and breakfast. So that's we preferred.
And also about dress code.
Check the facilities, what they offer. Do they have, well, depends how you feel, because you may not care for swimming pool, but do check what they have. Exercise classes, pool, or
we'll give examples a little bit later.
And what trips, do they offer trips? When you don't have a car, you may depend on them to go to things, ballet, concert, and do they offer you that? And of course, we check what they allow you to do. What, for instance, no smoking. I think most of it now, they would say no smoking, whether you can have a pet. Some will allow you a small dog or cat, and some will says no pet. They do have a service department that if you need service, you don't have to call the plumber, anybody, you just call the service department. They come and fix it. Sometimes if they feel they should charge you, yes. Most of the time they come check your lights and curtains and things that. The best way to do that, to find a place, is to ask somebody who's already in there, are they happy? If you ask me now, yes, I am happy, but I asked somebody who moved in 2 years ago, I say, are you still happy? She said, yes. I can't tell you how I feel 2 years from now, but so far we're happy. Do find a place where you can find on a personal level how they like the place, the pros and cons about that place.
Yeah, now I'll talk a little bit more in detail about cost and other considerations. If you live in your own home or move to a new home to be near your children, every expense you incur is a separate expenditure. You hire lawnmower, snow removal, cleaning, cooking, so forth. You don't get economy scale like what we do here in a retirement home, where their purchase is a group purchase. And that they get economy scale, you only have to pay the marginal cost. So it's actually a lot of the things that will cost you more if you live in your own home, here in your old home or move to a new home. It will cost you more. But the disadvantage, of course, you have individual selection. Like our apartments cleaned once a week by cleaners, and they come every Thursday from 1 to 2. You cannot say, oh, this week we want to come on Saturday morning, or we don't like Thursday 1 to 2. Can we have it every week at some other time? Well, you don't have that selection. You have to put up. And as I say, you may have to pass physical and mental tests, particularly the mental tests Sophia earlier mentioned. I know 2 MIT professors, very smart people. They, at their age, they couldn't pass the mental test and they couldn't get in. This is real. And also they may ask you about pre-existing conditions which require extra care, and they may have to say, oh, it will cost you a little bit more every month because the service we offer to take care of you. One advantage, most of you didn't realize it, I didn't realize, you only get 1 bill a month for everything that costs money in the retirement home. But 30% of the monthly fee are eligible for income tax purposes as deduction for medical expense. This is something maybe useful, save you money, which I didn't realize before moving. And when you're considering moving or enter this new stage of life, I mean, as we showed you, there are many, many choices, many, many considerations. And about 15 years ago, I remember there's a very well-known best-selling book called The Paradox of Choice. Because you have too many choices, you end up sometimes making the wrong choice or not making any choice. So that's something to be thinking about in your old age. And finally, this one bill to pay each month is really convenient. It's just one check. That's all we ever have to do. For everything we enjoy in this community. Okay.
Now, what is a community living place? All of them, I think, are set up like this. There are 3 levels. First is called independent living. You move in and you live in an apartment setting, and they provide you with 1 meal a day. The other times you have full equipped kitchen. You can do your own kitchen. Again, I recommend that you move in early to get used to this while there are 2 of you, if possible. I'm sorry, I'm not finished with independent living yet. No. The community does provide service. Larry mentioned weekly cleaning. And if you have a garden, they take care of the lawn and everything. And in most places, they have everything under 1 roof. In other words, the total big building, maybe 5 floors tall. And when you want to go to the dining room to eat, you do not have to get outside of the building. For California people, you don't care. For New England people, in the wintertime, it is very, very nice that you just put on your shoes and walk down. You don't have to go outside. Again, they have a centrally located apartment building, but they could also have little individual cottages. Why do people want the cottages? Because you have a little garden, you have lights from 3 sides, and it is more spacious. So some people prefer to live in a house. For us, we thought, come November, it's gonna be cold. And every night you have to come to the main building to have dinner, put on your shoes, boots, and gloves and everything. It's just too much trouble. So we didn't want to live in such place. And while you're here, in this stage of your life, there's a lot of activities. They have clubs, mahjong, quilting, knitting, arts, music, bridge. And then every night, there's something going on, be it a concert, a lecture, and old movies, Paul Newman and Gregory Peck. So those are the movies we enjoy. Now, the next level is called assisted living. You have your own room. When your need when your need is too much that your partner cannot take care of you, and if you don't have a partner, you cannot live alone in your apartment, then you move to this assisted living quarter. You have a room and the meals are delivered to you
3 times a day.
And there are nurses, trained medical helpers there 24/7 in case you need them. And after that, when you were still going further down, like I have friends who has Alzheimer's, they do not remember. They see you, they smile, but they don't know it's me. When you come to that stage, it's really the end, sort of. So I would say the nursing home care is what it is. It's a nursing home, hospice, you can call it. Now, you can ask me, what if they don't have room for me? When I'm ready to go down a level, what if they don't have room? Well, what they do is they try to find similar places like ours, and they put you there temporarily. As soon as there's room in our place, they will move you back in. Of course, the advantage of staying in one place is, say I am sicker than Larry, so I will be in the assistant living quarter, but Larry lives in our old apartment. He can come to visit me, have lunch with me, and even in the evening, he can come to see me. He does not have to drive to a nursing home to visit me. So we find that is most comforting, because when you're old, you cannot drive, nor especially at night. So everything under one roof is really convenient for us.
By the way, I might just add, depending on the places, like in our place, even if two of you, one is in independent living, the other baby living, assisted living, doesn't cost you anything more. It's all figured out in your monthly bill. Once you come in, you pay that bill once a month, that's it, no matter what happens. But other places may require, when you two have to be separated in different stages, it may cost more or less. That's something you need to find out.
Yeah, I need to find out in the beginning.
But most important, as Sophia already mentioned, you're basically living under one roof. Now, let me talk about cost in more detail. Okay. Cost varies. In our case, it's one cost for all stages for all people, doesn't matter. But in other places, they may charge you differently depending on your need for service. And the cost of buying into something is approximately the same as buying into a good condo. Okay. Basically, you're buying into a new place for living. And the fee is probably the same. The monthly fee, as I mentioned, for all the service. They're probably a little bit more than the usual condo fee, because the usual condo doesn't offer you all the services a retirement community offers. So basically, you're purchasing into a new residential property. And for whatever that is, it has maintenance cost, as well as there's no mortgage or down payment, you have to pay the full cost. And when you find it being carried out, your children will get the purchase price minus 10%, because every time somebody moves out, they basically renovate the apartment completely. Like when we move into our apartment here, all the appliances, refrigerator, washer, dryer, microwave, toaster, they're all brand new. And the house is renovated, painted, and so forth. Whatever needs replacement with the carpet, so forth, are brand new. So they deduct 10%, and your children will only incur 90% of your purchase price. And of course, as I said before, and Sophia said, all the amenities are included one monthly fee. Now, I also want to talk about attention to details, which is something normally you don't find in place. In all the bedrooms, there are motion sensors. If they know you're not going out of town and they don't see any motion from the motion sensor, they will immediately come to check on you because you may be in bed and not be able to move. In all the bathrooms, there's emergency pool call if you slip and fell and cannot get up or something. There are smoke detectors. Like once I start cooking bacon and the bacon starts to burn, set off the smoke detector alarm. But of course, I took care of that. But immediately, somebody also was knocking at my door because these things are centrally monitored 24/7. They want to know if everything's all right. So that's something, you know, unless in a place like this, your children cannot take care of every minute 24/7 day. In all the corridors, there are handrails for you to hold on to when you walk. And the chairs every 100 feet or so. So if you're walking a long corridor, you're tired, you can sit down and rest. Non-slip floor surface in kitchen, bathroom, carpeted surface elsewhere, so that you can walk safely. In your dining room, the chairs have wheels, so you can easily move them about, getting in and out. And let me just mention one additional detail, like bathroom. Every bathroom has a vanity where you keep your stuff like shaving creams, makeups, and so forth. And the bathroom vanity usually have a mirror as a cover. That's fine. But here, when you open the cover, inside there's a little mirror. And in the back, there's a little mirror of the vanity case. There are 3 mirrors. So this makes life much simpler when you want to apply shaving cream, makeup, so forth. You don't have to keep an open and closing door all the time. These are just little details. And as Sophie mentioned earlier, there are many interest groups organized around the resident. There's movie, lecture, concert almost every night. A little bit more details. This may be, for some people, it's considered a defect because there's only windows on one side, on the other side is the corridor, like a hotel or apartment hall. So if you want cross ventilation with natural breezes, that's not possible, except in separate cottages or in a very few corner apartments. But in New England, more than half a year, you cannot have open ventilation because it's too cold. So, and they have internally, of course, well ventilated with air conditioning and heating. So to us, it's not a problem. As I mentioned, there are usually situations of non-smoking. But, you know, it's not a problem for us. But once in a while, after a good meal, I enjoy smoking a good cigar. Oh, there's actually nature trails off the property connected. You can just walk over there, short walk to smoke, or drive to the parking lot nearby shopping center at night, no problem. So this is not really for just a random promotion. The other thing is social interaction is unavoidable because everybody like us living here, you walk in corridor, you see people, they say hello to you, you should at least say hello back. And sometimes you want to take the food home to eat. No, you have a choice, eat in dining room, take the food. And there's a line for takeout food. And people will engage in small talk. You cannot say, I don't care about talking with you. I mean, there are people who enjoy solitude. And this is not, if you really want solitude, not talking to anybody, this is not a place for you. And of course, for us, there's no Chinese cuisine for dinner, even though they sometimes try to imitate offering Chinese or Korean food, but they're not the real stuff. But you can order delivery from nearby Chinese restaurant. We have 2 such restaurants, there's no problem. And if anything you want to be done, the work order you put in, then always within 1 day they come to take care of it. And in our case, we have 2 shopping centers nearby. Even though our retirement home is sitting in a very rural setting with lots of long trees and so forth, but even 1 shopping center is within walking distance. And you really need your own car. Many people here do not own cars because shopping theater outing trips are scheduled with minibus for delivering you and picking you up. They have definite grocery stores they go twice a week. Regular stores like Stop and Shop, Stars, and so forth, and more dedicated supermarket like Trader Joe or that kind of specialty supermarket. They have buses pick up, so it's not a problem. We know a lot of people who don't own cars. And we have lived here for 6 months. I compared the 6 months expense we paid to the 6 months expense we paid last year living in our own home is actually less. Now here are some photos of our apartment, so you get some idea. You can get more at the website.
Well, the left one, the small one, is our entrance hall. Larry is a teacher. I kind of like the Chinese scrolls talking about teaching. And the big one with the orange flower on the wall is the living room. You have a small 2-seater, a dining room, coffee table, glass top. It doesn't take up space visually. So that's a living room.
Yeah,
the other corner. Here, the corner is this is the other corner of the living room. That's my desk. I don't have a study because we only have 2 bedrooms. One is used as a bedroom, the other one is a Larry's study. So my study is in a corner of the living room with the bookcase. Another view, you can see the kitchen through the hole. When after you cook something, you just pass it over to the dining table. And the kitchen are modern. I don't know why they have such a fancy kitchen, since I hardly cook.
Not shown is the washer dryer, which is located also.
It comes with the house. This is Larry's study. He's got all of his desk pieces, and so there's plenty of room in that room.
It's the 2nd bedroom.
Same thing. And this is our bedroom. On the left is a giant TV. We like to lay in bed and watch TV. And it's rather big. It's 16 by 20 or something. It's a large living room.
And not shown is a large walk-in closet on the other side of this bedroom, where we can store all our clothes, easily accessible.
Oh, I forgot to mention that in addition to your own apartment, they give you a section of places, like in the basement. In most apartment buildings, you have a cubby hole that measures about 6 by 10, and you can store your extra things in
and
there.
where you can lock the space.
2 bathrooms, one with the shower, one with the tub. This is our exercise center. It has everything you need, and it's never crowded. The jacuzzi and swimming pool. You can take lessons, play games in there.
So, as I said, this talk has been recorded, and you can also write to us for getting slides for the show we use, as well as several articles I've written in detail about our experiences here. So, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And now we turn the control back to Tang Yawu, and he may have entertained questions, and we can try to give answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry and Sophia. It's so excellent. It let me feel that I want to move in sooner than I was thinking about.
Oh, welcome. We're looking forward to your moving in.
Yes. I think I have a question is, how big effort, or you didn't have any effort to mentally adjust from the big house you had to the house, to the area you have now? I think based on your talk, you seem very well adapted.
Okay, before we moved in, I asked a friend who already lived here, and he told me something I find I could pass it on to you. You pick small items. You don't want your 7-seat couch or a futon like that. You cannot have that. He said, if you have a box of things and you don't want to look at it before you move, you say, oh, I'll move the box to the apartment, and then I'll take time to open it and see what's in there. He said, do not do that. If you don't open the box, which you haven't opened for the past 20 years or so, you don't need what's in there. You don't even want to open it. You don't want to know what's in there. Get rid of it. So the secret for us, I know several of you who's in our apartment liked it, say, yeah, I could live in here. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Well, that's because I'm good at not taking things. I'm good at throwing things away. So you just have to close your eyes and throw things. By the way, we have loads of photo album, the kids, 3 kids, grandkids and all that. So you will bring them here and you don't look at it. So what our children decide, say, we'll digitize them for you. So they took all the albums and they will digitize that. So we will see what happens. And also before we moved here, we told the children, you like that painting, put your name on the back. You like that chair, they tag the things they wanted. So we know those are going to their houses. We don't want it, but I want to tell you, they don't want your good china. They don't want your silverware. They have everything. Remember, they're adults. They have a house of stuff they can't get rid of. So most of the things, maybe a couple of Chinese paintings they would take. So don't bring things you want to look at later. No, you look at right there in your living room and say, this goes to the fireplace or goes to the dumpster. You have to close your eyes and throw things away. Then you'll be happy in this apartment.
Let me give you an example. In my 46 years.
Larry, 对不起，你可不可以 can you please stop sharing so we can see everyone?
Sorry, we are not the host. Tanya will have to do that for you.
Tanya, can you stop sharing?
Oh, stop sharing. Okay. Okay. So sorry, Larry, continue.
Oh, okay. I'll give you an example. In my 46 years of teaching at Harvard, my total output is 53 PhDs. Those are really my contribution to the society. Now, every PhD student who graduated have their thesis bound in a volume and gave to me as a souvenir. And I have 2 big file boxes of 53 PhD theses. These theses have no meaning to everybody else, including my children, also feel. So only have meaningful to me. Now, what am I going to do with it? Moving here, I'm sure I won't look at them again. So 46 years, but they are meaningful. These are my real output. So what I decided, I burned them all. I collected part of the ash because both Sophia and I, when we go out, we're going to be cremated. And they will mix with our cremation remains and scattered elsewhere. That's how I remember it. And I'm not destroying anything because every PhD thesis in the United States are microfilmed and stored in a place in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So I'm not destroying anything, but it's something personally important to me that I just cannot take along. And even if I took along, I probably will look at them for the next whatever few years I have left. So you have things like this, you have to learn to dispose creatively or brutally. Just do it. Don't think that, like my children took all the slides I've taken as a kid since I was 10 years old, from interior China to Shanghai to Taiwan to Hong Kong to the United States. There's big collections of slides and negatives. And what she promised to digitize for me, I said, fine, that's great. But if you decide not to do it and throw them away, do that. Just don't tell me about it. That's all I ask. So getting rid of stuff is a brutal process. And also you have to be creative in some ways. Okay, any other questions? From the audience?
Good.
我可以
It's
讲
a
几句
very
话吗？
moving story. Yeah. Yeah.
他我可以讲几句话吗？
I think first I like to is we have a series questions on the chat. We like to answer those first. Then we open the floor to everyone. So Claudia, could you start reading the questions for Larry? Hello?
The first one is from Zhou Yinan. Are long-term care benefits applicable to the costs of living in this kind of retirement home? Thank you very much.
Let me read this. Sorry.
Zhou Yinan, from Zhou Yinan. Are long-term care benefits applicable to the costs
I'm looking at because I need to read a long-term care benefit. RT. Yes, we kept all our regular health insurance, telephone number, didn't have to change anything, except home insurance. Because this building are insured by the organization, we don't have to worry about it. So what you may want to buy is called rental insurance, because we're living here. And it's feasible, possible, but highly unlikely. Someone will break into our apartment and steal things. So there are rental insurance we have to buy. It's about $300 a year. We haven't even buy them because this place is totally secure. I don't think anybody was thinking of coming here, breaking into one of the apartments, trying to steal things, because we have nothing basically of value down in the current apartment.
Someone's asking.
Basically, the answer is yes. All our long-term care benefits carried over, no problem. Next question.
They ask where to get your email and copy of slides. I think you post on the, you just mentioned.
Yeah, just write to me. Google my name. You get my email address, and then you write an address to me. Then we'll send you whatever we have.
Second, you buy the retirement home. Do you buy through the broker?
No, you deal directly with the retirement organization. And they are basically, you're buying another condo. That's what it is. Except the condo fee will probably cost you a little bit more because they offer a lot more than the plain condo. The plain condo just maintains the common area. It doesn't do any other amenities and service. Here, they offer all kinds of other things. So the condo fee will cost a little bit more than the regular condo fee. But otherwise, you're just buying into a condo, approximately the same cost.
I would like to add that in most places, they have wait list. For instance, they have various sizes of apartments. So you put your name, you want 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, or 3 bedrooms, whatever they have, and there's a line. By the time you get to the top of the line, they will call you, says, we have this apartment. Do you want to take a look and see if you want it? So I would advise that pick one that's facing south. You know, the Chinese always say, situated on the north facing south. And that's the one that they offered us. They said, do you want it? I said, yes, right away. Because facing south in New England is very important. It's cold. And so now we have sun coming into our apartment. Otherwise, it will be dark. You can always refuse. Then they put your name to the bottom again. And so find out how many times you can refuse. Sometimes they say you can refuse 3 times, but in certain places, it takes a long time because it's popular. You may want to find out why that place is so popular. Then you decide when they call you whether you want to take it or not. You don't always have to take right away unless special situation. You have to. Then you have a choice.
By the way, everything be equal, you probably want to find a place that has a waiting list. rather than place as empty waiting list ready for you to move in the day you decide. Obviously, with the waiting list being the place is desirable for whatever reason. We have waited 2 years before we are offered this particular place where we are happy with.
Someone asked, is your harvard.edu email still working?
Oh yeah, it should work. Yeah, nothing has changed for me. You just Google my name and you will find my email address. And you can write to me, no problem. Other people have done this.
How many Chinese in your area, in your
how many Chinese are here? Not very few.
The total number of people here in our place is around 400, 410. A few men, a lot of ladies. And Chinese-wise, I would say maybe 10, but we haven't met them all yet. I saw one Indian family, one Black lady, and the minority is still a problem. So here at Brookhaven, our place, they do have a diversity committee. They want to create a tour just for minorities like Chinese to come and take a look. They want to attract
more diverse population.
Yes, they do. However, we feel the biggest hump is the food. Many of us, we can take one meal, one American meal a day.
Yeah, and their meal is very good.
Food is good.
Enjoy it. I mean, like a good restaurant. The dining room in evening is like a good restaurant with many choices you can order from. And in the 6 months we're here, there's only 2 meals which we ordered didn't quite live up to expectation. Otherwise,
the food is good, but it's American. So for lunch, we go to Chinese restaurants, bring food back for the next day. I do miss Chinese food.
But you don't miss that. You don't have to buy food and cook evening meal every day.
That has nothing to do whether I miss Chinese food or not.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Do you plan to organize a trip for the Chinese community?
What?
Do you plan to organize a trip to a tour of this place for the Chinese community?
Are you in Lexington? Are you in New England?
Yes.
Okay, it's like this. There is diversity, I told you, committee. We will meet. I'm not on it. I was asked to be part of it. They're going to be meeting in October. Then they want me to be there, maybe give some suggestions or that, or maybe organize a trip for the local Chinese American families. That is possible. Because they do organize. A week ago, so many cars parked there. I found out that they organized for 30 families a tour to show them, well, they want you to come. Yes, it is entirely possible. I will strongly suggest it, maybe a special reception with the Mao. And so they do want to attract minority.
In the meantime, go on their website called Brookhaven at Lexington. There you can find lots of additional information, and as well as the slides for this talk.
Yeah. So in case in October you organize a special tour for Chinese community, would you let Yun He Se know?
Would you let what?
Would you let Yao Wu and?
Oh yeah, if the tour is organized, we'll definitely try to publicize it through the Lexington Friends list, Cal, and whatever.
Yun He Se.
Yeah.
And Yun He Se, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Here, Yao Wu left a message. You may leave your email here on the chat, and we will forward the package to you. the YouTube package. So you please feel free to leave your email on the chat.
Chat. Where's the chat?
Look, spend just a little bit of effort. Google my name, you'll get everything, and write to me. This way I have a record of who I've sent things to. Okay?
Okay.
That's good.
Because I do want to keep track who stuff that I write and so forth I send to, that I have a record.
Okay.
I will forward to you, Larry.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I will give you this list if someone is signing.
Yeah, I don't want indiscriminately distribute all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Also, if you like to have the to put in our mailing list for the future lectures, also you can give me your address. Yeah.
I want to answer this.
Last question.
Oh, Sophia wants to answer one question somebody asked.
There's a question says 1 bedroom is popular or 2 bedroom is popular. They have a list. Every place has a list and listing how many of 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, studio they have. For instance, in our place, the big ones, they have total of maybe 100. I don't know exactly. The large ones, that's 1,500 square feet. And then for the smaller one, like ours, there are 300 of them. So your chance of getting into a one like us is bigger because there are more of them. So do find out, they ask them for a list of what type apartment they have and the number of each. Then you can bet.
Yeah. Let me say 1 bedroom is probably for people who are single. Their spouse has already passed on or so forth. It'll be I think it'll be too small for 2 people in 1 bedroom apartment. And it's not that much less cheaper than 2 bedrooms because the service offered is the same.
So do find out, ask when you come in person to talk to the purchase department, ask them the list of apartments they have and how many of each. Then you bet, you put your bet. And of course, you always put your name under 3, 4. You don't want to put it when you want one kind. It's better to put the similar 2 bedroom. There's big 2 bedrooms, there's small 2 bedrooms. If you want a 2 bedroom, put your name under each. You have a better chance.
Okay. This is George Al, and I want to ask, what's the appropriate age to move in your apartment?
Oh, minimum 50 years old.
Minimum 50. But yeah. What's the appropriate age? I mean,
appropriate is up to you. I mean, we feel we could move in a little bit earlier when we only, between 80 and 85. But they allow people 50 years or older to move in.
Okay. Well, how much it costs and maintaining the apartment, as well as how much it costs to move in? How much I should say?
I told you, there's an application fee, which is not refundable. That's $750. Then the purchase is similar to a condo, to a good condo would cost. It varies over a range. It depends on whether you get the 2 bedroom plus or the large 2 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, and so forth. It's easy to, you can just go on the website. I'd rather not just talk about price.
How much a maintenance cost?
Maintenance cost, I would say, per person. Depends if you're single or double. It's under 5 figures. Let's put it this way. Okay.
5 digits?
Under 5 digits. Depends on whether you have 1 person or 2 person. Obviously, the food cost is different. The 2 people will cost more. 1 person will be less. So depends.
it's best that you go to this place.
Yeah, talk to the marketing department.
Yeah,
You get the exact figure.
Each one is different. Also, I see a question.
Yeah, also the location is different. If this place is in California, the cost will probably double.
Yeah, California is expensive.
Yeah. And again, even different parts of Lexington, because this place is fairly unique, well located, so probably costs more than other similar retirement homes around Lexington area.
Do you know they have a program to keep you active in daily basis? Or
so sorry, I didn't get it.
Okay. Do you know they have a program? Let's say morning exercise and walking and try to keep everybody healthy.
Yes, absolutely. Sophia goes to exercise class 5 times a week.
5 times a week.
I go 3 times a week. All kinds of different exercise. You can just walking and
as a group,
and
right?
there are instructors there to help you.
Again, it varies with the different setup. You come here, we have it, but the one next town may not have it. Depends on the setup. So we cannot generalize.
Yeah.
And let's put it this way: you get what you paid for. So the same thing. You buy clothes more expensive, the better stuff. So each one is different.
There's also a question about what's the difference between profit and non-profit organization. Well, it's actually very simple. Profit-making organizations are in the business to return profit to their shareholders. Yeah. In order to generate profits, they may have to offer things people desire. But their number one job is to make profit for shareholders. Non-profit do not have this building conflict of interest. So, as I said, everything be equal, I would prefer to join an organization that's non-profit based.
One more question. Do they provide transportation to go to doctor appointment?
To go to what?
Doctor appointment.
Not well. First of all, they have a hospital on site, and there's a number of doctors come in on different days of the week, which you can use if you want. But if you say, I want my own doctor who has an office in Cambridge, Massachusetts, no, they do not. You hire Uber. That's the simplest way, because you may not need a car. So you have to save a lot of money by using Uber.
Yeah, we do have a car. Most people have cars. Older people with the leg problems, blah, 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 they don't have cars. So if you, just like you live at home, if you can't drive, you can't go to the hospital, you call an Uber or local service. In Lexington, we have Neighbor Brigade, we have FISH, F-I-S-H, different organizations. You call them, that they provide you free of charge to take you to those are to take you to medical things you do. So each town is different. That I think is your own department. They do not have a bus for you.
Let me give you one piece of data which may be useful to some of you. I once did a calculation. The cost of owning a car, depreciation, insurance, service, gas, and so forth, is approximately equivalent to 80 Uber rides. Now, if you think a year, so if you think what each year you're going to take less than 80 Uber rides, get rid of your cars and call Uber. They're just as convenient, and you don't worry about parking or so forth.
Hi, I was wondering, since you were looking since 2 years, during the COVID period, did the facility have any kind of policies to deal with?
Yes, they
like
have
COVID
very, very strict policies.
In the future?
They have very strict policies doing it, and they manage it very well. In fact, for a period, they are totally, no one had any positive tests. It's COVID-free. Now, they have some people with positive tests and they are in quarantine. They have food delivered to them. They have to stay at home for 5 days.
Now, again, each establishment has its own rules. Some are stricter than others. So it is best that when you go to one, find out from that particular place. If you go to 3, you line them up and compare, and then make your decision where you want to go.
Yeah. I was interested in what you found when you were looking at Brookhaven, for instance, during the COVID period. Were you happy with what they were doing? And were you satisfied that they had?
Well, yeah. This place has done very well. But we look at 4 or 5 retirement communities. And eventually, of course, some are immediately available, which I don't think we have to go. And this place, we waited for 2 years before. And let me give you another piece of data. We live on a short street in Lexington, our home. Half of the street have moved here. Our neighbor.
Oh, interesting.
It is a popular place in Lexington. What is important to me is I did not want to leave Lexington, but in Bedford, next town, Bedford, Newton, Concord, they all have their own establishment. So it depends on where you are, where you want to move to, or if you have a child in that town, you want to go to Arlington. So it's best that you go investigate, go to each individual ones, get the details, the cost, the service, and the location. Don't forget, we're getting older. Now we have 1 car. Pretty soon we won't be able to drive. So think of the convenience of the location, whether you want to live in the woods, which is pretty, very nice, birds chirping, it's very nice. But to be practical, you have to be.
But I wasn't, well, if you look at some of the pictures, articles I've written, this place looks very rural if you don't go out, and the nature trails, so forth. The location is what they call campus. The campus, you wouldn't know there's a shopping center nearby. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Would you mention that how the arrangement is going to be if one person has to move, if one person is eligible for nursing home?
Yeah, I mean, you just move to nursing home, which is outside the same roof. I mean, the hospital and the nursing home assisted living facility is not very far from us. Just a very short walk under the same roof. And when you are ready for that, you move there. That's it. And you don't worry about it because it's the same fee. For example, if one of us has moved there, I pay the same bill every month.
So one person,
he or she is receiving more care.
So one person can stay in the original facility, the
Absolutely.
other one to the nursing
Absolutely.
home. Still the same.
And I can walk over to visit her every day without going outside.
Yeah, if you have a couple, that is something you want to think about it, because one of them will have to move down first. And during that period, it could be long, it could be short. And it is convenient that you all live under one roof. We do not have a hospital per se, like Mount Auburn or Mass General. We do have medical staff here to take care of things.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a hospital for the nursing care place because you have to have 24/7 care. Yeah, but it's just one part of this under one roof, part of the building, which are declared as a hospital and as an assisted living and nursing home facility. They're separate from, well, not separate. They are in a separate part, but still under one roof. I mean, I can walk in there to visit somebody easily. But people who live in there, I mentioned one example. There's a Chinese lady and husband. The husband I used to know, not very well, acquaintance. Well, then the husband died. So when we moved in, I met this lady. I introduced myself. She knows who I am. That was in the first couple of months. But now she's deteriorated to the point she no longer knows who I am, even though we still say hello. Each time I meet her, it's like a new meeting. She would say hello to me and so forth, chit-chat a little bit. She's in an assisted living facility. But she is still well enough. She can come out on her own and move about and so forth, say hello to me and so forth. But she no longer recognizes me. I mean,
so who makes the decision as to when you actually move from an assisted living to a nursing home level? Does the
well, for example, you cannot go to the restaurant. If you are no longer able to go to the restaurant and order food and sit through, behave well, doesn't go crazy, then you have to move to assisted living because you have difficulty moving about.
So the family can make its own decision, or does the facility?
Well, sometimes you'll be forced to, because you need a wheelchair, and somebody has to wheel you all about. You can come out, but somebody has to be with you all the time, to enjoy some sunshine and so forth. I mean, I don't know the details, but knowing this place, knowing the care of details they go to, I'm sure it's well taken care of. Okay, when you get to that state.
Okay.
Well, one more question. You own the place?
Yes, you do buy into this place. It's the price is about the same as a good condo. I mean,
Yeah,
I've heard of the similar facility in California costs over $1 million for a condo.
Yeah, I know. But when you sell it, do you?
No, you cannot sell to anybody else. You either move out, you just move out, either because of death or you don't want to live here anymore. Then you get your original buying price back minus 10% because they have to renovate the place completely.
Okay, can I add something? Larry keep on saying buying price. It's actually more accurate to say it's a deposit. You don't own the house. When you go out, the house goes back to the establishment. You just put deposit in there. At the end of your life, when both of you are gone, they will return, depends on different places, 90%, 80%, or 70% of your deposit to your children or whatever you decide. It's not a buying.
Well, it's a buying in the following sense. I can do anything I want, put nails on the wall, and even for a small non-structural one, I may even be able to knock it down. I'll have to pay for it. Sophia says no.
May I add something?
Let me say, you can do almost anything to the house, to the apartment, as if you own it. It's like a condo. It's basically you're buying into a condo. Sophia disagrees. But
I disagree.
Look, let's not argue among ourselves.
Can I explain?
You go to the, excuse me, you go to the marketing department to find out exactly what they.
Yes, if you don't like certain things, the color or something, you want to change, you put an application. Says, I want make a window between the dining room or to the other room, or I want to open the door on this wall. You may. You have a plan, you have an architect draw up the plan, and you submit that to them. They will say, yes, you may, or no, you may not. If they say, yes, you may not find a cheap laborer to come and do it for you. Okay, Mrs. Ho, you want a door there? Lovely. You can use our in-house work people, and they charge you much more expensive than the Chinese laborer. So you can, but you need their permission. I want to paint this room blue. You may. Once they approve, they buy the paint it for you. You pay them. You don't do it yourself. So it is not like your own house.
But it's like a condo. Condo association have rules. You cannot do anything you want, But you can put nails.
But you control your inside.
And so forth.
You control the market price when you sell it.
You don't sell it. You give it back to the organization. They give you 90% of your original investment back. That's it. No argument.
Oh God. That means you basically you lose your interest as well.
No. Let me tell you this. When you get to our age, lots of things that concerns you now and concerns us way back, it's no longer a matter. We're not interested.
I know.
You will not be interested in these minutiae questions. The big thing you know is you get 90% for this place. You get 90% back. Your children get 90%. I mean, if you pass away, if you just decide to move out, still living, you get 90% back. That's it.
90% of the market price?
Sorry?
90% of the market price?
No, your original investment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me say, these questions right now concerns you, concerns me when before moving, and our age is no longer of concern. Okay. Market price or whatever.
I know.
Believe me,
okay, understood. Okay, that means all right. It's basically your
most important thing is how comfortable, how happy you're living in this environment. Like we know of one friend, you people don't know. Her ideal situation, living in a place like this where all the services are offered, but there's no other resident. She's the only resident because she doesn't want to socially interact with anybody.
Okay. How about,
but this is not a place for them.
How about the deposit you have? Is it insured? You guarantee that money is there.
I'm sorry.
They insure your deposit in case something go wrong and they get out and you become a zero gain and you don't own anything.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Okay.
Maybe somebody else can explain to me.
Oh,
what he's saying is that if the facility, the organization that owns the facility goes bankrupt or something, then what happens to your deposit?
Heaven forbid if that happens. Okay.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, just like any business, people can go bankrupt. But that's why I said, yes, this place, for example, is nationally rated as in the top 10 of the places offered. But other places may not be rated. But like any business, yes, it could, but probably very unlikely.
Do you notice that the sale price and also, not the sale price, but the deposit and also the maintenance fees are going up every year quite a bit?
Yes, it's going up next year because of the big inflation that's going on right now.
So it will keep up with inflation. The market
next year we have to pay a little bit more.
Okay.
But there's a committee of the residents who negotiates with the organization every year about the total amount of increase.
Huh. Is there a cap?
No. These are, well, there may be laws governing these, which I'm not aware of the details, okay, how these things should be run. But basically, as I said, for a nonprofit organization, they have no intention to make money on this. So they want to offer you the best bang, most bang for the buck you pay. And their national reputation is very important. Like this is rated in the top 10 in the nation. And they like to maintain this. They don't want to have too many complaints.
Right.
May I add something to complement what Larry said?
Yeah.
Well, I think Larry has bought into a form of retirement home. There are actually other arrangements. For example, there are places who charge an initial entrance fee, for example, about $10,000. But then they don't sell their apartment, they rent the apartment to you. Of course, the rent plus the meal cost is going to cost a little more. For example, I visited one time a place, sort of a high-end place in very close to Boston College in Cleveland Circle. That place, it might be belong similar, the same organization, Brookhaven, the place called Waterton. They charge on the order of $10,000 of an entrance fee. They call sort of membership fee. And then they will charge depending on the size of the apartment. The larger apartment they have is on the order of 1,000 square feet. If you choose a setting, a good setting for 2 people, they will charge on order, I think, on order $12,000 a month, including 30 meal and plus. But their services include chauffeur to any place you like. So that kind of stuff. There's another place I have not visited, but I knew something about. Is a big place in where is it? In Peabody. They had a similar setup as Larry's retirement home. They charge the biggest two-bedroom apartment is about 1,400 square feet. They will charge on the order of $500,000, and then monthly fee is about $5,000 a month. Again, the 30 some plus meal. That's sort of, I think a lot of places, like Larry said, it really depends on the place, a particular place, the setup and so on and so forth. So every place is different. My father used to live in a non-profit place. That place do not sell apartment. They rent out apartment, and they have a 3-level of cost, like Larry said. Unlike Larry's deal, my father had to pay initially the so-called independent, but gradually into the so-called nursing home. The cost at the time was several years ago, beginning $5,000 or $6,000 a month, up to the last stage in nursing home is about $12,000 a month. But again, that place is nonprofit, and there isn't any entry fee. You don't pay anything up front. You just pay
let me interject. If you go over the slides, I did emphasize there are many different versions of these retirement homes that you have to talk to the marketing department and decide which one fits your personal situation. But let me say that this. If you own your home in Boston area, Lexington, you have enough equity to buy into here and live in this apartment. But basically, you need to go on their website, talk to their marketing department to find out the detailed rules. And some of them may be important to you right now, but you reach our age, it may not be important anymore.
Any more questions? It's about 3:40, so we thank you both so much. It's very informative, and it's very important when we get to the next stage of life. So we will conclude today's talk now, but we will keep the Zoom open, so everyone welcome to stay on the Zoom just to chat, to talk, to whatever, to meet the old friends. And both of you are welcome to stay with us or to go take a rest, because I know you both skipped your nap today, probably for us. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will stop. You do. Oh, by the way, do you want to have
one more question?
Do you want to make some closing
Somebody
remarks?
asked a question. Do I have to pay property tax here? No.
No.
Everything is included in the monthly fee, the one monthly bill I pay.
It's not your property. You didn't buy it.
Well, we bought it. I mean, I can do it. Yeah.
You're renting it.
Tax deductible. Tax deductible.
我在这先谢谢 Larry 跟 Sophia。 我记得大概
We're very happy. And if you really, as I said, if you need more information, just Google my name, get my email address, and write to me.
谢谢 Larry 跟 Sophia。
Okay.
谢谢 Larry and Sophia。
对，30几天以前，Larry 在 GBC 也给我们一个讲座。
Yeah, one more question let me answer. When you move from independent living to assisted living to nursing home, do you have to apply? No. When the condition demands, you can make. Once you move in, no more tests, no more admission tests. But before you move in, there's a mental test you need to pass. As I said, I know 2 MIT professors did not pass because they waited too long.
谢谢何教授。
Very happy to do it.
我是张凤。
All of you come to move in. They really wanted more diversity in this place.
非常热门，大家都进不来，满额100个人超过。Larry, I have a question.
Sure.
This is first time I heard about the 30% monthly cost can be deducted. Did the
medical expense, qualified medical expense. Then on your income tax, depends how much you earn. There's a limit.
I
if
see.
Your medical exceeds the limit, they become tax deductible.
Did the retirement home tell you that, or your accountant?
Oh, this is a
common knowledge.
I mean, I didn't know about this. Called a loophole, if you like. But once I move in, everybody here does it.
Okay.
It's a law.
Okay.
关于这个 medical spend， 我想我有一点经验可以跟大家分享，也许大家对以后可能遇到这种情形的时候知道怎么处理。我父亲在过世之前，就在过世前1-2个月，他需要打一些非常贵的针，打那个针一针是要5-6千块钱。那个时候呢，我们也因为他在 nursing home， 因为方便，就在 nursing home 打这个针，打了几次以后，后来发现我们需要自己付那个钱，但是那个针呢，如果在医生那里打，就是他自己的医生那里打，就是 Medicare 就付了。这个其中的道理非常的复杂，所以结果是我父亲当初在医生那里打是免费的，但是后来到 nursing home 为了方便的 nursing home 打那个针呢，结果我就付了1万多块钱出去。所以这一点是大家要注意，就是在这个 Medicare 它是关于 medical 的这个 chart 里面的规矩非常的复杂，需要小心。
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Don't do the tax yourself. Hire a tax expert to do it for you.
You have to know ahead of time, right?
谢谢。
And there's one more question. I don't know if does one pay extra service costs when one visits the clinic on site?
When you visit what?
The clinic on site.
I think first of all, Medicare or your insurance plan will pay for whatever medical service. But all these plans, including Medicare, have limits as well as exclusions. And I think the same thing applies. We have been very fortunate. Both Sophia and I are very healthy. We haven't to pay anything. And we haven't had to use the medical facility on site. We kept our own doctor. They are still in Lexington, so we just go see them. Nothing has changed for us. But I think we can, if we need to, we can use the medical facility here. And to the extent insurance will pay, they will pay. Otherwise, we have to do the same, whether we live here or not. They all have limits. I'll give you another example. I won't mention them. They are in our unit that's person who somehow didn't have enough financial resources. They had enough resources, but they came in here, they lived for 10, 15 years. They began not to be able to pay the monthly maintenance fee. Well, the organization is not going to throw you out. What they do is they simply start deducting from your buying fee. Until that would take a long, long time to exhaust because these things are cost, you know, I mean, in hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you can use that and they will kick you out if you die and your hair will get a little bit less.
Huh, interesting.
I mean, that's unusual, but I mean, that's what happens. They don't want to put a person, they have to throw you out because you cannot pay the monthly fee.
Huh.
Last question. I saw you guys all pretty young looking. How healthy and how you maintain your health to your present age by eating some other eating things correct way or do exercise every day?
Well, yes, and yes. But let me tell you, Sophia used to tell me there are 4 things in your old age are important. Number 1, have inherit good genes. That's absolutely the number 1. Some people just don't inherit good genes, and some people do. So far, we've been lucky, not because we are did anything. We just were lucky. Second, don't let things stress you. Like lots of questions are important to you right now. Once you get to our age, moving to this, it no longer becomes important, whatever happens. So don't be stressed. 3, don't fall down, because that's the one deadly thing people in our age must try to avoid. All kinds of bad things can happen from a simple fall. And lastly, you have independent children who doesn't give you problems. Because problems with adult children are unavoidable and most difficult. So if you have those 4 things, you live a very happy life. As the Chinese say, I always say, I got my money with one, so I have no fear of whatever comes.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Dr. Ho.
Yeah, Larry, thank you for being the audience, and I hope I provided something useful for you people to think about, because we all have to face this problem sooner or later.
Thank you. Open your house, open to us to see, and very open.
And as I said, go over the slides I made and write to me. I'll send you the copies of slides and additional articles I've written on this subject.
Thank you.
谢谢 Larry。